Now, the nation's favourite gardener, Alan Titchmarsh, joins us now. It's lovely to have you here, Alan.
Nice to be here.
You've just released a new book, the Gardeners Almanac, sharing tips on how to look after our gardens all year round. Excuse me, but it's much more than that, Alan, and you've described it as the gardener's bedside book, and it's very much that. It's a book that you can constantly dip into. It just makes you feel good. It feels like it's you speaking to us. And
well, I didn't want to do a book that said, this is what you should be doing now. At the back of every month, there is things you can do, things not to do. But it's like, as you said, there's a bird of the month. There's music you could listen to this month. There's, you know, famous gardener of the month, all kinds of different things. It's about music, it's about reading. If you're interested in the great outdoors and gardening, you don't have to be a keen gardener. It's just something to dip into and get bits, facts and quotes.
It's
exactly
that. And it's beautifully illustrated by you.
O-level in art. Don't waste it.
It stood you well. But this is always something that you've enjoyed doing. It's a bit of relaxation, I suppose.
It is really. And when you've done the book, and there's a chapter heading in there, which is a little framework made up of little drawings of garden tools and things like that, and then the name of the month written in the middle. And when you've done it, that's kind of my sweetie, if you like. That's for doing a chapter. I thought, well, I'll just do a little bit of artwork now. It's therapy, really. I just love doing it. I can't say it's particularly brilliant, but it's like Publisher said, it's charming. I thought I'll set it for charming.
Charming's good. I know, it is. It's really lovely. And like we were just before speaking about sort of and the turn and the change in the seasons. And I actually love this time of year. I love autumn. I love the feeling you get and you're walking through the park.
I call it dustpan and brush time.
Yes.
It all comes down. We get a chance to sweep it up, compost it, return it to the soil, and start again.
And that's exactly it. And you mentioned this in the book, that this is almost like a reset time for our gardens, isn't it? And you start at this point now to prepare.
In a way, it's the gardener's new year, because it's in the old days, before we had container-grown plants that we can plant any time of year. Autumn, October, November was always when we planted bare root things between October, November and March. And of course, it's bulb planting time, even if you've only got a pot and a doorstep. Daffodils, tulips, narcissi, crocuses planted in the pot, and they'll come up in spring. All the work's been done for you.
Yeah.
They're like fireworks. You like the blue touch paper.
And you see, Amir has his terribly fancy plants there and these beautiful things actually growing, whereas nothing works for me at all, unfortunately, Alan. But now is the time. I love daffodils, I love tulips, I love sort of the really old traditional flowers I grew up with in our gardens. Now is the time to do daffodils and as you say, the bulb kind of flowers, isn't it?
Plant them about 3 times the depth of the bulb, so generally hold about that deep for daffodils and tulips. Get them down a bit. And daffodils can stay in the garden all year round. Tulips, some of them will stay, others will fizzle out and you need to plant them every year. But tulips in pots, for me, just one of the best delights.
Yeah, exactly that. Right, OK. You've inspired me that I will be doing that. Now, aside from the book, of course, Alan, we're seeing you at the weekends every Sunday with your beautiful show, Love Your Weekend. And you so enjoy that because it's a bit of entertainment, it's just a bit of conversation, it's getting out and about around the country, you've got great guests.
It is. It comes from a barn in Hampshire, which is glorious. We do it every Sunday morning between 9:30 and 11:30. At the end of the show, every week, we have celebrity guests as well. And I have cattle and I have sheep and horses and dogs and vintage cars. But at the end of every week, we do Best of British, which looks at food and drink. And the drink is, we do some non-alcoholic drinks, but the guests, I am sure, only come for this last slot. Right, where's the drink? You know, and we get a lot of comments about people and cocktails, all kinds of things like that. So it's fun. It's a change, I think, on a Sunday morning from politics and cooking, because it's everything to do with countryside, but with celebrity guests.
Yes, it's comforting, is what it is.
Anton Jabek is coming Sunday morning, and Samantha Bond, Miss Moneypenny.
Of course, yes. Oh, that's a good one. Yes, very good. Interesting weekend then. Has your wife Alison continued to be part of the camera crew at this stage?
She's retired now.
Has she retired?
Yes, she did that one series of Grow Your Own at Home, where it was in lockdown, so we couldn't have a camera crew in the garden. So my wife, who was never so much as taken a snap on her mobile phone, was operating this camera. There were moments of amusement.
She looks like a professional there.
It's the dark glasses, which were hiding her fear. But we had a great time. It was a good giggle.
Yeah, and a nice experience, because we all had to just make do.
And they said it was all about growing your own time. They said, we want 3 programmes, and we got into 2. We'd done 2, and they said, it's so good, can we have 6? Well, I think she nearly collapsed at the prospect of doing another 3. But we didn't.
She can retire happily now. She did a good job. We were talking about the royal family family this morning, Alan. Of course, we know you were very close with. We've seen you on screen with him, walking, talking with him, spending time with him, and you, in fact, were with King Charles, Prince Charles, at that point, just hours before,
the night before
he officially became king.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing Jay Blades earlier on talking about Dumfries House and the work they do there, and I'm an ambassador for the Prince's Foundation and the Countryside Fund and the Prince's Trust, and so I go up there quite a bit to see how work goes on. It is those wonderful crafts and trades which are kept alive by the King's amazing initiative to keep it going. And there was a reception up there the night before, and I was with him the night before and said goodnight to him at 11:15. And the following day, of course, he was king. Nobody had any idea.
No, a very and a tough moment, I guess, to reflect back on, because he was in good spirits. And
he was. I mean, you know, it's one of those days you'll never forget. You know, I remember him just saying goodnight. You know, see you soon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the following day, I was meant to tour the estate with him the following day. And go around. As it happened, I couldn't get a flight back at the right time, so I said, we can't do it. He said, don't worry, we'll do it another time. He didn't do the tour of the estate anyway, because he had to shoot across to the Queen.
Life changed dramatically. And I know you were very close to the late Queen as well. You spent many a lunch with her.
I wasn't very close.
Well,
we knew one another.
You knew one another, and she spoke with you many times,
She
sort
did.
of off camera as such. You know, you were in that circle, which was
I
lovely.
sat next to her a couple of times at lunch, and the conversation was very wide-ranging, but she had a great sense of humour. And very, very sharp. Yeah.
And that, I think that's what everyone has said since you've heard that a lot, isn't it? And her sense of humour, and she was on it.
I mean, you could be intimidated by her if you. And I thought, I'd met her enough times not to be intimidated. The first thing she ever said to me was at Chelsea Flower Show Garden. She said, "Your onions are very small." I mean, honestly, first thing your sovereign says to you. She did go on to say she preferred them small because when they were large, they tasted of nothing at all. So she sort of redeemed herself, and that was 30-odd years ago. So, yeah, I've really been lucky enough to enjoy Majesty's company, or late Majesty's company, and you know, we've got a great king now who's really acquitted himself well as Prince of Wales. We know what he stands for, we know what he wants to continue, and I just hope we all support him. He really deserves it.
Well, Alan, the book is lovely, like I say, the Gardeners Almanac, beautifully illustrated and of course charming, and it's out now as well. And best of luck at the weekend.
Thank you, Christine.
And yes, the weeks ahead with the show. Thank you.